the great thing about Facebook is that people from your past can reconnect with you. And the terrible thing about Facebook is that people from your past can reconnect with you. About a year ago, I received a series of Facebook messages from a male acquaintance that I hadn't seen in ages. There was no context for these messages, just, I miss you, I miss you, I really miss you. This made me really uncomfortable, but the thought of not responding felt uncomfortable too, because what if I hurt his feelings? So I did what many of us do to cope in the face of deep inner conflict. I procrastinated by scrolling through my newsfeed. But later I asked my husband what he thought, and he said something profound. You don't owe anyone an interaction. Being a writer, I said, wow, can I quote you on that? He said yes, and so I did. I published a post expanding on that core idea. I wrote about how many people feel compelled to respond to anyone who reaches out to them. I wrote about how we've been conditioned to believe that being kind means being available 24/7, but when we don't guard our time, our ability to be kind actually erodes. The topic touched a nerve, and the essay went viral on the Huffington Post. But some commenters thought you don't owe anyone an interaction meant sacrificing compassion on the altar of efficiency. While that wasn't my intention, it does raise an important question. In this age of unprecedented connectivity, how can we give to others without getting burnt out ourselves? To help me answer that question, I turned to a book called Give and Take, wherein author Adam Grant makes a startling but research-based claim. He says that people who give more than they receive are actually the most productive and highest earning workers. It pays to be a giver. However, there is an important caveat in this research, which is that there are actually two subcategories of givers. The first and most successful type gives while guarding their personal limits. They set boundaries, and they hold self-interest and other interest simultaneously. For them, it isn't self or others, it's self and others. By contrast, the second and least successful type gives to the point of exhaustion. They have trouble saying no to anyone. As a result, they are always tired. And I know this because I used to be one of them. I used to believe that if I didn't give away every ounce of energy in service to others, that I was somehow being selfish. And a lot of times we equate being a giver solely with that second type, with being depleted. And that's what holds us back. We're afraid to be depleted, and so we don't give. We equate being a giver solely with that second type. However, there is a better way to be a giver. There is a better way, and you can set boundaries. You can set those limits. And that's what led me to actually try a Facebook experiment. I was inspired by anthropologist Robin Dunbar, who says that the number of people with whom you can maintain stable, ongoing social interaction is approximately 150. That's all. Beyond that, most of us lose our capacity for meaningful connection. So in my Facebook experiment, I stayed friends with everyone, but I followed only a select few. And I loved it. I had more energy to connect with the people closest to me in real life. But I did feel some inner resistance, and I wondered, am I being selfish by not following all of my friends? But then I realized that honoring my own needs is not necessarily the same as being selfish. In fact, Elizabeth Gilbert writes that in the Mandarin language, there are two words for selfish. The first word means to be greedy or hoarding, but the second word means to do something good for yourself. So in the end, I deleted those Facebook messages, those repeated I miss yous. I was willing to let that guy miss me. I just wasn't willing to miss myself. Thank you.